Guitarists are often trying to get out of this box, and I myself am guilty of it, but there is so much good stuff in this one position. Show you 5 rock licks in our favorite position 1 of the minor pentatonic scale. Each of these licks feature a different thing that is really cool inside of this box, and the last lick is going to show you how I think of this as a foundation for building other licks, as well as getting some outside sounds and some really interesting approaches happening. Let's jump straight into it. This is lick 1. Now, all of these licks are going to be available on my Patreon page, as well as a whole bunch more stuff, as well as the backing track. So subscribe down in the link below if you want to come and join us. So we're going to be working in the key of D minor. This is our position 1. Now, this first lick features 2 notes that aren't actually in this position. It's going to be the E note, which is the major 9, and the blues note, which we're borrowing from the blues scale. Let's start on the minor 3rd, go down to the major 9, then the root note, and then the flat 7. Then we're going to go back up to the major 9 and descend down the blues scale. That's a 5-note group. Then we're going to go back up to the flat 7, and then descend down the blues scale. So you hit that flat 7, and then just return to the root note. Super easy, but super cool. Now, it's up to you to experiment with the picking. I like to do a lot of pull-offs. I often pick 2 notes in a row and then pull off, right? And then when there's only 2 notes on 1 string, I would do a pull-off. So plucking and then pulling off. You could take it down the whole scale and get some other interesting ideas. Really cool, all in box 1. Let's check out the second lick. Now, this one is a direct rip-off from Angus Young, although I've changed the rhythm a little bit just to make it a little bit easier. Let me know down below in the comments if you know what this lick is from. It's in a different key. Really simple, all minor pentatonic, starting on the flat 7. And then we're going to hit the root note and then go down to the perfect 4th. So far it's this. This is the tricky part. We're going to go 10th fret of the B string, which is our 5th. Minor 3rd, and then root note. Now, I will go through the picking. I start with a downstroke, and then I'm going to do an upstroke, down, pull off, down, up, down, up. That's the easiest way for me to play it. Let's move on to the next lick. Now, this lick features a key element that I love to do in this position. It's a real bluesy thing, and we're going to use it on 2 different strings just to give you a little bit of variation and show you what can be done. The idea is plucking a note and then bending from 2 frets lower and reaching the pitch of the note that you just plucked. So we're going to do that on the G string and the D string. And you'll notice that when I bend on the D string, I often bend toward the ground. You can do the same thing for the G, or you can bend up to the sky. It's totally up to you. Experiment with what feels more comfortable. So we're going to start on the perfect 4th, which is our 12th fret G, bend up, and then release to the 10th fret and pull off. We're going to hit the 12th fret. And then, as I said before, we're going to then go from the 10th fret, which is our minor 3rd, bend up a full tone and reach the pitch of that 12th fret. Right, so far it's this. Then we're going to hit the 10th fret on its own. 12, 12 of D and A, which is the root note to the 5th. And then we're going to do the flat 7 on the D string, the root note, and the same idea as we did before with that bend. We're bending from the 10th fret, but this time it's the flat 7 to the root note. And that's a tricky bend to get in tune, as you can hear. So I'm bending toward the ground. I'm really trying to get it in tune. It is quite tricky, but I like to hold that pitch just so I know that I'm really in tune, and then I'll apply the vibrato. Now I'm doing a lot of string muting with the right hand. That's also really, really important. Let's check out the next lick. This one's dead simple, but you can get so much mileage out of it. I might have covered this in a repetitive lick video. It's literally the minor pentatonic scale from the root note, descending down to the perfect fourth. I am pulling off on the 13th fret to the 10th fret. And then you can ascend and then repeat. Now, two things. You can change the perfect fourth to the flat 5 or the blues note. Right, that can sound really cool. And then, instead of the root note, you can bar the 13th fret and hit the minor third. Some really fun stuff to be had in that position 1 box. Okay, this lick does feature some outside notes and is kind of out there, but I really, really dig the sound of this. Let's jump straight into it. It's all featuring really notes from the minor pentatonic scale, plus the blues note and the major 7th and major 9th. Just that major 7th gives it that little bit of a spicy kind of sound, that outside sound that we might be searching for. So I think of this lick as having 3 different parts. That sort of helps me remember it and break it down a little bit easier. I'm going to go through each part separately. So this is part 1. Right, I'll do that again. Now I'm starting on the minor 3rd, root note, major 7, but I'm pulling off. Then the flat 7, root note, major 7. Then I do the exact same sequence, but start on the flat 7, which is on the B string of the 13th fret, right? Same sequence, just a different set of notes. So we got the flat 7, 5th, blues note, and the blues note doubles up on the G string as well. You get this kind of cool offsetting effect. I really, really like that. Then the second part is really the second half of the first part. I know that seems confusing, but we're going to go 10th fret of the B string, which is our perfect 5th, blues note, and then the blues note on the G string. And then we're going to repeat that, so that second part happens twice. This is what we got so far. Third part is really, really straightforward. We've got 10th fret of the G string, which is our minor 3rd. Then going to the major 9. Then we're going to do root note, flat 7, root note. This is the whole lick. Speed it up. Can sound really, really cool. As I said before, the tabs to these licks will be available on my Patreon page, as well as the backing track. There's heaps of good stuff there. I'm also going to include some of the dismounts. If you've watched my other videos, you know I'm big on dismounts, so I do transcribe the examples here as well as what's around it, just to give you guys some context instead of just showing you a lick. I show you how I get into it, get out of it, and all that kind of good stuff. So if you want to subscribe, click the link in the description. Love to see you there. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.